We're live. And events. Let's see here. Stream now. And Nashville versus Pittsburgh. Are we streaming? And we are. Stream status is good. Hey everybody. Sorry for the late start. Had some technical difficulties beyond my direct control. You know, one of those things where you have to start the engine again. And it goes. And you go. And it goes. You go. And it goes. You know, one of those things. Then you go. And so we get started. So there we go. Nashville versus Pittsburgh in the Stanley Cup Finals. The Cavs versus the Warriors NBA Finals rematch. Live stream. I mean, riddle me this. Hey, Brian Gidry, how you doing? This is right now, Brian, is sup you and me. That's what's up, man. And I am priming the Metatag pump right now. Saving the changes there. And hey, go Warriors, how you doing? Who was able to do his first live stream today. Congratulations. And practice makes perfect. And hey, go Warriors. Hey, go Warriors. Who do you have for Cavs versus Warriors, Nashville versus Pittsburgh? All right. See, Brian Gidry sounds like Matthew McConaughey. All right. Hey. I'm saying all right. And I'm right. Hey, hi. I'm right. Hi, all. Let's see here. Well, Brian, what you got? It's us talking about hockey. Thank you. Hockey. And I am going to start off by saying I'm curious to know, hey, Jamal, how you doing? I'm going to wait until everybody comes in and then start talking. But good evening, Jamal. How are you, sir? How are you? And say hello, J.M. How are you, sir? How are you doing? And we got Brian, Jamal. We had Go Warriors on, who did his first live stream today. Barry Lee is on. Hey, Barry, who you got in NHL and NBA? Who you got? NHL and NBA. Who you got? Curious to know. And okay. Yeah, it's buffering for me too, but you know what? There's this little ticker that adds up the numbers, and it seems to be going, that way. Let me try something and see if... nope, I don't have anything else open, so that is on your end. Brian Gidry says, I want to say Warriors complete the 4-4-4, but I think they'll win it in 6. I think the Warriors will win it in, I'm going to say 7 games, because I think it's going to be a tough match, but I'm really predicting that the Warriors will get revenge. Hey, John, how are you doing? I think the Warriors will get revenge. Now, Nashville versus Pittsburgh, you know what? I think Nashville is that team, I'm typing the tweet right now, where you just say, huh? And I bet you the Pittsburgh is going to say, huh? And Nashville's just going to be so like out of their sky-high minds to be there. They're going to play out of this world hockey, and they're going to shock everybody and make Nashville known for something other than Taylor Swift. So, Joseph Jones says it's Nashville. Barry Lee says Warriors in 5. What about for hockey? I've got Nashville. I'm taking Nashville. I'm voting for Taylor Swift. I'm writing this down, folks. Voting for Taylor Swift. Because I'm going to be Taylor Swift's next boyfriend. Stop laughing. Anything is possible. Anything is... Yeah, so here she comes now. Just kidding. Anything is possible. Anything is possible. Would you believe I just lost a couple of viewers because I said that Taylor Swift might be coming in the room? Oh, now they're coming back. That's hilarious. Are you kidding me? Come on. Come on. ML, how are you? And let's see here. John Marks has got the fives going. He's got Nashville in 5, Warriors in 5. Jamal says Warriors in 6. And I'm waiting for the line of the game, which is not out yet. Kyle G says PK Suban is bringing the Stanley Cup to Nashville. That's what he writes. Kyle G is all over it. Corvette says Warriors in 5 or 6. It's either make up your mind. 5 or 6? What is it? Nashville. Zinni and the Zinsters. I like that. Zinni and the Zinsters. That's like Benny and the Jets. Kyle G says Taylor Swift isn't even from Nashville, but she lives in Nashville. Dude, Taylor Swift has a penthouse in Nashville. Okay? I know. I've been there. Not to her. Not to her penthouse. But I've been to Nashville, and I know people who know where she lives. Okay? I'm just saying. I'm serious about that. Steve Collins, how are you? Steve Collins says Penguins in 6. Go Warriors says hi ML. And John Marks, you called it. Taylor Swift does need to sponsor my show. ML, Money Lynch. Now, I think Kyle G's got mad. He's like, heck with this dude, man. He's making me mad. ML Scott says, everyone, remember to subscribe and thumbs up to Zenny62. Thank you. I second that. Thank you. Barry Lee says Warriors in 5. But Barry Lee, what say you about hockey? Okay? The Cavs, let's face it, the Cavs were lazy. They were really lazy with the Celtics. I think they were just playing out the string and overlooking the Celtics for the Warriors. And now that they've dispatched the Celtics, they're going to come out just, I'm going to prove. Cleveland is itching to prove that they are the champions. Period. Straight on. Barry Lee says, again, Warriors in 5. But what about the Stanley Cup, Barry? He keeps answering like Warriors in 5. Warriors says hockey, blah. But there are some people who like hockey. Like I like hockey. Kyle G likes hockey. Carrie Underwood loves hockey. Carrie Underwood loves hockey so much she married a hockey player. Carrie Underwood is too conservative for me, but, I'd be willing to relax that. Seriously, I would. Seriously. In fact, you know what? Carrie Underwood's husband plays for that Connect. Jamal likes hockey. A lot. I just want to see something here. I'm waxing on about Carrie Underwood, and I just want to see something here. Carrie Underwood reminds me of Frank Underwood because they have the same last name, but Frank Underwood's a fictional character from House of Cards, which happens to be coming out next week, I believe. Yeah. So anyway, I'm just checking something with respect to one of my favorite singers of all time. I'm talking about Miss Underwood. Oh my goodness. So you know what we do? There's a good thing that we, all right. There's a good thing. I think a great thing about this whole deal. We're going to get to see a lot of Carrie Underwood. You realize that, don't you? In Daisy Dukes. That's a great thing, I think. Now, see, Taylor Swift is not married. Carrie Underwood is married, so I'm going to get in trouble there. Here comes Henry Flores. Here we go. Henry Flores, whoop, there he goes. I was waiting for what he has here to come up there, and it didn't. It's on this kind of delay. I'll see something you put up here first, right? And then here it comes. Here's Henry Flores. Zinni, did Draymond Green get talked to in regards to his comments about boycotting Raider games? I have not heard him say anything in regards to his statement. Well, let's check real quick here. Hold on a second. Let me. And by the way, the odds are the Warriors are the front runners to sweep the Cavs, go all the way with the Cavs. The Boston Celtics with like taking 30,000, but that's done now. Let's say Draymond Green, and Raiders. Let's see here. Now, Draymond Green. Let's see here. Draymond Green says fans should boycott Raider games. That was March 29th of 2017. And it looks like he's been silent since then. And, Henry, here's your answer. I found it. According to 24/7 Sports blog, Draymond Green is happy for Marshawn Lynch, but he's still boycotting Raider games. Ooh, there you go. And to which FanRag Sports asks, hey, Bernard, how you doing? Should we follow Draymond's lead, okay? Now, I'm wondering if Kevin Ballard of 24/7 Sports got an actual quote from Marshawn, or is he quoting somebody else? Let's see here. He has not. He said, they are still the Oakland Raiders. This is Draymond, right? And yeah, he's quoting the Bay Area News Group who got the quote. They are still the Oakland Raiders and the team that he grew up watching his entire life. So it's like a dream come true for him. That's Green talking about Marshawn Lynch, okay? All right? But he said he took advantage of the situation, made it happy, so I'm happy for him. Just being able to live out that dream playing in his hometown for the Raiders, trying to bring a Super Bowl to the town. You know, San Francisco's the city, Oakland's the town. So that's great for him and great for the city of Oakland. And he said that he had thought about relaxing his boycott promise, but he says, yeah, it's still on. Sheepishly, like, you know, it's like it's in his mind. It's really in the idea, but it's not front and center something he's going to do, okay? So there you go. The boycott for Draymond Green is still on, all right? And that's that. Yeah, there you go. There's your answer. There's your answer. Now, John Mark says he's following Draymond Green's lead. A number of people are following Draymond Green's lead. And Ricky Bobby calls Draymond a hypocrite. And let's see here. Something about Brian Guidry. Did he ever come to a Raider game? Never saw him. Talking about, then ML Scott says, Barry Lee, Papa John's my favorite also. Barry Lee says, pizza sounds good. Carrie Underwood's husband is the captain of the Preds. Yes, I'm aware of that. I am also aware that Carrie Underwood has some amazing legs. I'm sorry, oh, my Lord. All right. Yo, Donis, how are you? I'm rooting for the Predators for two reasons. Carrie Underwood and Taylor Swift. Those are my two reasons, okay? Oh, and Stephanie. That's a woman that I met at CES who's a country singer who is also a Nashville resident and just completely gorgeous. Okay, so I can say these things because I'm single right now. But the bottom line is, not for long, but the whole point is you get the idea, right? Now, let's see. Oh, this is so fun. Bernard says, not boycotting for damn sure highly unlikely to go to a Raider game in Vegas. Crawford 371. How are you, Crawford? Hey, Crawford. Hey, Bernard. Hey, everybody. Boston should have petitioned to have Game 5 in Cleveland. After all, the Celtics have been blown out every time they played in Cleveland. Interesting reasoning. Bernard says, I'm going to go to as many games as I can in Oakland. Brian Guidry says, I thought about boycotting, but this may be my last chance to see a Super Bowl window open with the Raiders in my backyard. And Ricky Bobby says that he is not a Raider fan, just a hater, talking about Draymond Green. Henry Flores says, Zinni, I'm a Sons of Anarchy fan. Woo-hoo! I am afraid the Raiders will be like them. Fans sporting their chapter, ex-Raider Nation, California chapter, Oakland Originals, yada, yada, yada. I'm telling you, I am still certain this is going to turn out in a way that's not good because of the UNLV issue. All right? And I said it last night. I'll say it again. There's a reason why that deal is not done. And I don't want to hear this, oh, it's going to get done. Because the Raiders have had over a year to craft something with UNLV, and it has not happened. All right? It has not happened. And there's a reason for that. Now, Zinni, can I make a request, suggestion, more like a plea? Okay. Barry Lee says, Carrie Underwood has an amazing body, not just legs. And John Mark says, Ricky Bobby, look at yourself in the mirror before you call Draymond Green a hypocrite. Now, Henry Flores got that one. And John Mark says, I hope you're right, Zenny. And Ricky Bobby says, go Penguins? Do you know what penguins get preyed on, right? You are aware of that, Ricky Bobby, right? Penguins get like chomp, 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 chomp. Just saying, okay? And Emma Scott, what do you think about having moms on for a short segment every week? Her commentary is a background. They are, but she doesn't want to be on camera. Mom loves to say things. Sometimes like she'll say like maybe once every blue moon she'll say, yeah, put me on. I believe me, I've said that to her because for one thing, my mom knows basketball better than anybody I know, and that includes Charles Barkley, Shaq, Katie Smith. I mean, she can tell you what's going to happen in a game. She watches it. She remembers what player did what. She has a natural understanding of basketball because my mom's smart. That's where I got my smarts from, my mom and my dad. So, yeah, there I said it. But the bottom line is, I'll relay that to her. It would be nice to have her on, as a commentary. After all, what's his name does that on ESPN? He's got the guy that has the music goes, and he's got his dad, and he's got the other guy, the black guy. What's his name? Who am I thinking about, right? Anyway, and so Ricky Bobby says, who won the Stanley Cup last year? Just saying. Okay, I get what you're saying. Look, remember this. Nashville, Predators, Carrie Underwood, legs. Not in that order. Okay, let me try it again. Nashville, Predators, Carrie Underwood, Taylor Swift, legs. Something like that order. You get it? Good. Now, right. Jabber has said it. Jabber says, Zinni, I'm losing hope. At what point can we say the Raiders are gone? When the stadium is... Okay, you can say the Raiders are gone when the development agreement is signed and done, and they have the financing, okay, and the UNLV deal is crafted. When all three of those things are done, there you go. All right? That's when you can say that. But not until then. Not until then. There's every possibility this could turn out to be the first time a relocation in the NFL's modern era, in the 21st century, has gone kaput. That's sticking out there. And again, I'm going to emphasize a point here. I'm going to be very honest for those who would come away with another thought. I'm not hoping that happens because as I've said to anybody, as I've said to the Vegas people, the consultants that are involved and a number of people, I've said, look, if my city, Oakland's going to lose, I want it to lose to a group that has its stuff together and has planned this out precisely every step of the way, aware of the many deficiencies in Las Vegas. And I'm not convinced this has been done, okay? I am not convinced that's there. And it's not a matter of people. I like the people. I know the consultants. I like what they're doing. I like them as people. They're people that I'm looking forward to for for the most part, having dinner with, right? Because that's going to happen. But my point is, they're aware that I'm a fan of Oakland, and they're aware of my background's in planning, and they're aware that, I do a lot of consulting. Even I made a game of running the Oakland A's that was used in a number of top colleges and universities and high schools around the world. The business of the A's, including building a stadium and using different finance techniques. They're aware of all that, most of them. So my point is, when I make my statement about, hey, I'm not sure this is going to work, it comes from that perspective. It comes from the perspective of, if I were making a game of this, I would design in UNLV. I would design in a random variable element that represents the number of areas where this negotiation could go flat. I would design in an element where, and I had this in my original game. In other words, and I don't want to get too far into this because I don't want to escape your points, but I had an element designed in my Oakland baseball sim world that where there was a direct correlation between the positive outcome of a vote by the city council and the county board of supervisors and how much money you put into each political campaign. It was that nuanced. Okay. And that was designed now, 14 years ago? Yeah, it's been that long. Anyway, you get the idea. Yeah. Now, all right, back to it. Now here's the thing here. All right. Hey, Octavio! Not forgot about you. Not forgot about you. All right. Let's see here. Now, let's see here. Legs. Body. Barry Lee says body. I say legs. Bernard says bruh. Shaq's toe. Oh, God. I don't want to talk about Shaq's toes. That's like, Oh, and Satan says, I forgot the relocation agreement. Hey, that's they took that off the table. That's still wild to me, but they did. I mean, it's wild, but I'm not surprised. Brian Guidry says, I hope Katy Perry and her non-existent dance moves show up in a Penguins jersey. I always wanted to meet Katy Perry. And let's see here. Let's see. Hey, Go Warriors, what was your topic about on your live stream? Let's see here. Now, Donis says, hey, Donis, how you doing? And let's see here. ML Scott. Octavio says, hi, guys. John Marks is, hey, everybody is doing, okay. I Hope Meter. I like Hope So. Hope Meter. Hope Meter. Octavio. Zinni, explain the UNLV conundrum. I want to talk more hockey. I want to talk more about Carrie Underwood. What do I mean relocation off the table? Octavio, how's the Carr versus Cousins discussion ended up? It's still ongoing, okay? It's still ongoing. And Ricky Bobby says he's originally from Pellicoma. Hey, so what's the most gorgeous woman from where you are? What's her name? Just curious. Now, Go Warriors says, I did predictions about Raiders on live stream. Share your predictions with us, Donis. Donis, I'm sorry. Share your predictions with us on Go Warriors. Giorgio says Southern Cal. Now, yeah. And do we ever get to Musgrave? Let me get to Musgrave in a second. I just want to see what the predictions are for the Stanley Cup. I just want to check this out. Because do you realize that Stanley Cup is like number 2 on Twitter as I speak? It has 689, last time I checked, tweets. Woo! And let's see here. Let's see here. Let's see, look it up. Octavio says look it up. Justin Pasaic. All right, I'll look it up right now. I'm going to follow Octavio's request. I'm going to look it up right now. Right now. Right now. As I say, right now. Right now. Right now. Right now. I'm looking it up right. Oops. Didn't mean to do that. This is for you, Octavio. Let's see here. How about that? Cleveland 135, Boston 102. Let me come back to that in a second. I gotta note that. Hold on a second. Da-da-da. Remember, Annie Thorstadter is the hottest CrossFit trainer you probably never heard of. Just letting you know that. Yosin Lisette Justine Passaic, that's a heck of a lot of tweets. Oh, Miss Universe from Panama. Hey, you've got Miss Universe, right? Carrie Perry is hot. Okay, that's Miss Universe. All right, I saw that. You presented your Miss Universe, and I'll raise you a Miss Universe. Hold on a second. This is fun. Hold on a second. Talking Miss Universe, your dream date. Hold on a second here. Talk about Miss Universe, all right? You talk about Miss Universe. Ha ha ha. Hey guys, thumbs up, please. There's 20 of you watching. Only got 5 thumbs up. More, please? Oh boy, let's see here. Rick Rice is here. Rick Rice is in the building. My God, Rick Rice is in the building. I say again, Rick Rice is in the building. Rick Rice is in the building. Shocking. Rick Rice is in the building. This is interesting. Okay, there we go. Rick Rice is in the building. And I say again, Rick Rice is in the building. Right? Rick Rice is in the building. How many times do I need to say that? Rick Rice is in the building. Rick Rice, are you in the building? Yes, he's in the building. All right. Rick Rice is in the building. Oh, by the way, hey, you remember that? Remember Greg Gianforte, the guy who hit the reporter and body slammed him? He won the race in Montana after all that. Whew, man, oh man. Boy, he won the race. I'm blown away by that. He won. He won the race. He won. I mean, that strikes me as just wrong. I'm sorry, that's just wrong. He won. He won. I mean, I'm just... There is no civility anymore. I'm not going to get off on that. But there's no civility anymore. I'm like, what? He won. He won. Oh, okay. Enough of that. Enough of me saying that. Now, let me tell you. You say E62 showing PK Subban. All right. Well, let me get back to what I was going to show you. All right. Because you talk about Miss Universe. And I got something for you. I got something for you. Yeah, I got something for you. One second. I got something for you. I got something for you. Miss Universe. Hold on a second. Universe. There's Miss Universe. There she is, Miss Universe. And the funny thing is, I didn't anticipate, showing everybody this thing, but I figured, why not, right? Where's the fun in life if you're not doing something spontaneously once in a while? Right? You know what I mean? I think you do. Yes, I believe you do. Now, here is something that, yes, right there. Yes, I remember it well. Now, all right, you ready for this? Are you ready for this? Here we go. Ta-da, ta-da. Ta-da. All right, that lady is actually my friend from Inside Edition, Megan Alexander, right there, okay? That's me. This is at the Super Bowl Media Day for Super Bowl 50, okay? So, unmute and boom.
Very cool. Okay. Welcome to the Bay Area. Congratulations. How do you feel?
We're excited.
Yeah.
We're at the Super Bowl.
Yeah, the Panthers or the Broncos?
I can't say neutral.
She's smart, folks. Lovely and smart. Hey, thank you so much. Yeah, cool. That's Miss Universe, folks. Well,
You want her?
hey, how are you?
Okay. All right. Pia. Pia's a great lady. I still keep in touch because I try. The whole point, she's go where he says, dang. Yeah, Megan is sweet. I love Megan. Megan I met at the Lee Steinberg Super Bowl party in Houston, and then I ran into her again in San Francisco, and then I ran into her again at the Lee Steinberg party, and then I saw her at Media Day, and we just had a blast. I saw her at Media Day that Tuesday, and then I saw her again at the Lee Steinberg Super Bowl party that Saturday, and she's just a peach. She's just a great person, and always love when I run into her, which is not as often as I prefer. She lives in Nashville, by the way. 3 kids. That's right, 3 kids. And I think her husband is a former hockey player or something. These hockey players. Jeez Louise. And what is she doing? Hey, Barry, what did she do in San Antonio? You remember? What are your thoughts on Kimberly Boyflower? I saw her in person once years ago. Well, I know Kim. We're friends. Kim and I go back to when she was married to Gavin Newsom, who is a friend of mine, who is our current lieutenant governor, running for governor. But she was married to Gavin, and they were co-owners of the Balboa Cafe on Fillmore and Greenwich in San Francisco. If you're ever in San Francisco, go to the Marina District, Balboa Cafe, go in, introduce yourself. Brian and Lance are the bartenders. Scott, Steve are the bartenders there. Gracie is one of the waitresses. And great people. Tell them Zinni sent you. It's the kind of place where you might walk in and George Lucas will be there, which is often the case when you lived in Marin. Or you might find somebody like the fellow who did the Odd Jobs, Mike, forgot Mike's last name. He actually came in and sat with Speaker Pelosi, Nancy Pelosi, during lunch. Gavin is there having lunch once in a while. He used to come Thursday nights when he was single. But I then got to know them. Remember, I brought Michelle, girlfriend at the time, and Michelle was just nervous. And so Gavin was sitting down with Kim, and they invited us to join them. Michelle was like, she's like this, like. And I just looked at her like, oh my God, what, what? She went to a catatonic state, like, blah, blah, blah. And I said, hey, what's going on? She's afraid of crowds, the poor thing. She was afraid of crowds, so we wound up going to the bus stop where it was less crowded on that particular night, but I digress. Yeah, I've known Kim for some time. I know. Why do you ask? Great person. I'm sorry things didn't work out between her and Gavin, but hey, she went to a better place for her. What can you say? And John Mark says, Gavin Newsom, the man who lost the 49ers to Santa Clara. And Harry Flores says, I will do that. She's hot. She's hot. Jamina Sanchez. Brian Gitter says, Emmanuel Chickers. It was, wow, okay. And, Henry Flores says, that's why I asked. Okay, I gotcha. She's a great lady. She's great people. She really is. Tia says, no swimsuit, duh. She was at the... Barry Lee says that Megan Alexander was the reporter for local news station 5 there in San Antonio. Go Warrior says, you're friends with a lot of people, Zenny. Yeah, that happens. More acquaintances. It's not like they call and see how I'm doing all the time. And I think in this business, there are a lot of people you're acquainted with, but they're not really like your friends. I'm just being candid. All right, I just a fact. It's people think, you're well connected with all of these people. Well, I'm not well connected, but I know them. It's like this, and I think the best way I can sum it up for now, and I don't want to lose. Barry said Megan was there for 3 years, and I don't want to lose your commentary, and but Octavia says, look up Anna Raquel Ochi. Used to date her. What? Is there a picture of you and her together? Now, Donna says, I'm about to make my move this July. Can you believe it? Hey. Good luck, Donis. Good luck, Donis. Donis is... No, I can believe it. You're a driven man. Donis, you are a giant, okay? I mean, seriously, you're a giant. You've done a lot of great things, and you're an inspiration to a lot of people. So I wish you all the best. Now, why are you nervous, Donis? Why are you nervous? Jabber asks, what's Mark Davis' phone number? Need to have a man-to-man conversation. At any rate, Brian Guidry says, damn, if you did Standing O, Octavio Arias, really? Wait a minute, now I gotta go back and hold on a second. Anna Raquel, okay. All right, in honor of Octavio, hold on a second. Or as they say, stop the presses, right? We don't, as they say on the street, we're gonna check this out, all right? We're gonna check this out. Donis, you have no disability in my mind. You are a giant. You're a great man. And holy. This is. You might be wondering why I'm making these funny noises. Hold on a second. I gotta make absolutely certain I've got this correct. All right. And do I? Let's see here. All right, folks. Here is. Well, that's a bad website. Let me try this one. That is. This is a better one. Okay, this is about as good as I can get. All right. That is Octavio's X-Flame, right? Hui moi. Wow. Congrats, Octavio. My gosh. Congrats, Octavio. Boy, oh boy. Dude, what happened? that is the obvious question when you say X. It's like, anyway. But Donis, you are an inspiration to us all. John Mark says, my radio station gets up and running. Yeah, Donis. In fact, Donis, are you on Skype? That would be cool to get Octavio, Donis, Go Warriors, whoever else, all up at once. That'd be that'd be fun to do. Donis is on Skype. Hey, Donis, find me on Skype, Zenny62. Octavio has as well. In fact, everybody, I'm Zenny62 on Skype, or Zenny Abraham. Find me. Yeah. And Bernard, everybody. Yeah. Brian Guidry says, Octavia, did you get caught creeping? That is hilarious. That is ex-wife? That is whoa. Donis, that was 16 years ago? Whoa. 16? Whoa. That was 16 years. Wait, how old are you? If she was 22 and that was 16 years ago, so you were older than her? You can never not be older than her, right? Unless there's some sort of time warp, right? I'm just trying to put all this, not that it matters. I mean, geez, these days, ex-girlfriend. Aha. John Marks, what are you on Skype? And Octavio proudly announces, I'll got you, Golden. Octavio proudly announces, and I quote, already married to another hottie. And I thumbs up on Jab, right? And he's 43. Bernard is laughing out loud. This is hilarious. This is really nice and hilarious. This is this is funny. This is quite funny. Oh my lord, this is hilarious. How many times can I say this is hilarious until it's not funny anymore? Whatever. But let's see here. We've got, what else are we going on? Hey, by the way, John Mark says, 16 years ago, I was in Hayward doing Chabot College radio. Wait, that was you? Well, I didn't realize. God, small world, dude. I think I heard you a couple of times. Whoa, my head is spinning. Woo, man, oh man. Bernard says something new every stream. I loved it. Or something in someone, I know. It's kind of like that old song. It's like, something appealing, something appalling, something for everyone, a comedy tonight, something like that. Yeah, there you go. Now, Henry Floyd says, married again, once is enough for me. Hey, I'd love to be there. I'd love to be there just to say, hey, I'm married, and then I'll be there forever. And John Mark says, I was on Saturday night on KCRH 89.9 FM. Ricky Bobby is smiling because Ricky Bobby, do you remember that station, John Marks, or is it because you're married too and you're happy? I don't know. Let's see. Brian Guidry says, damn, best I can say is I dated a chick who did I did fetish balloon feed porn. I have now heard everything in my entire life. This fetish, exactly, Octavio. The bus has left the station. Yeah, it not only left the station. You know, you can hear the driver putting the bus in gear, like. Oh my God. Oh my God, that is hilarious. That is absolutely hilarious. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That's too funny. That is too funny. Boy, that takes the term levity to an entirely new level. It really does. All right. Woo, boy, oh boy. Where are we in Henry? We need Henry Flores. And there he is, Henry Flores. Friends ask me for marriage advice. I just tell them to look at my face and see the horror show that was my life for 17 years. Oh my God. I hold out hope that I will be in a great marriage. Because I know I will be. I'll meet a great lady one day that probably someone I already know. And that'll be that. So, and yeah. But, oh, this is hilarious. Okay. What, Henry, it begs the question, why was your marriage a horror show? What was wrong? I mean, I think you mentioned this once before, but this is, something that's been weighing on you. So I want to know what happened. Tell us what happened, It's something that inquiring minds want to know. What happened? Hey, you know what? Jay Cutler's got a great wife, Kristen Calavari. I mean, they've been married, and she's supportive of him, right? A lot of great examples of great marriages out there, okay? John Mark says, Donis might remember a guy named Mark Adams and the KCRH musical Time Machine, Donis. Octavio says, you need to go to Europe. They love dark guys. Oh, jeez. That's kind of changing in America, too. Actually, it is. It's not kind of. It's changed. Past tense. Henry Flores says, speaking of irony, this is coming from a marriage therapist. Excuse me. What? Wait, you're a marriage therapist. Wow. Jabber says, happy wife, happy life. Yep. Henry Flores says, honest. John Mark says, I agree with Henry Flores. Henry is a marriage therapist. Donna says, Katy Perry. I say, now, I also say Serena Williams, who's marrying the executive from Reddit, the founder of Reddit, one of three. Henry says, okay, I will use the door analogy. Follow me on this. Yes. Okay, I got you. I'm following. We're following. Henry Flores says, child and family. Okay. All right. So far, we got it. Taylor Swift says, jabber. I think Taylor Swift kind of nicely fits in there, kind of, maybe. Maybe, Octavio says, women that don't bother is no woman. I don't know what that means. What does that mean? Woman that don't bother is no woman. I don't know what that means. Brian Guidry says, and I quote, Henry, it's funny, when something comes up here, it's a delay between here and there. So what I see here is actually coming out before you see it over here, okay? It kind of is, interesting that way, right? Ivan, what's up? How you doing? Hey, Ivan. You want the Predators to win, right? Say yes. You want Nashville to have the Stanley Cup? Say yes. You want Carrie Underwood to be happy? Say yes. You want Taylor Swift to be happy? Say yes, right? Just saying. Now, Octavio says, all women are pain, but you have to live with it. Oh, that's not true. John Mark says, Henry Flores, I feel your pain. My marriage is currently 25 years. Oh, wow. 25 years. Congratulations. Donna says she's a Jehovah's Witness. Your girlfriend? Or Carrie Perry? Carrie Perry's a Jehovah's Witness. Okay. Henry Flores says, if you feel the same way when she is leaving, then something is wrong. Ah, I get it. The door. Okay, the door. So going back, Henry Flores says, how do you feel when your girl walks through the door? Happy and glad that she is here? And if you feel the same way she's leaving, I get it. Not sad for me. And Crawford says, yes, Nashville. I want the brother to win. Ding! Barry Lee says, my ex-boss married a woman from China, and she could speak a word of English when they got married, and their communication was done through a portable device that converted English to Chinese. Whoa. And John Marks asks Henry Flores, why did your wife leave? The door. Henry Flores says, John Marks, to be honest, I'm happily divorced. Donna says, Serena Williams is JW? What's JW, Donis? Henry Flores says, no, it was mutual. Barry Lee says, they used that device for 7 years until she learned English well enough. That's love. They used the technology to communicate, but the love was there, and it just made the love all, so much the better, right? I mean, sometimes when it's there, it can cross language barriers, it can cross distance barriers. It's just there. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. King Jose, how you doing? King Jose says, LeBron passes Jordan in playoff points today. No, dude, I was waiting for you. Excuse me. Landmine alert. I've been waiting for King Jose 19 to bring up that point. Because King Jose 19, as well as I do, that Michael Jordan played in 179 games, whereas LeBron James has played in, 236 games? Sorry, got you. Got ya! Got ya! I've been waiting for that. Boy, I have been just like, waiting in the weeds, like, where's King? Where's King? I'm gonna get him. Where's King? Bing! I got him. Yeah, I feel pretty good today. Yeah, I do. Now, going back to our conversation, John Mark says, "Congrats, Henry," as do I. And Brian Guidry says, "Love or green card?" Adonis says, "Jehovah's Witness." And Henry Flores says, "To be honest, John, I got along with her better now than we did before." Octavio says, "Wrong, Jose." Henry Flores says, "Just make light of it. Let out steam." Barry Lee says, "Well, it must be true love to put up with my old fart ex-boss." Ha! Ha! Bernard543 says, "Laugh out loud in the era where defense isn't as good as it was in the 90s. Or how about this, Bernard Lee? In a world where defense wasn't as good as it was in the 90s. Anyway, King Jose says, "Jordan is overrated. He wouldn't survive in today's league." Wrong. King Jose says, "Zenny just making excuses for Jordan, shaking my head." I can see King melting. But don't melt too much because we want you to go to Michigan State, a successful young man, okay? But you're melting. You're melting under the hot light of truth, King. You just can't take the fact that Jordan is just infinitesimally better than LeBron. But I digress. Back to Henry Flores. Brian Gidry laughs. Rick Rice says, is Joe Flacco married? Yeah, Joe Flacco is married. John Mark says, wow. Jamal Mills says, wah. Ivan says, KD gonna lock down LeBron. I agree. John Mark says, laugh out loud, Rick Rice. Okay, for those of you married gents out there, I have a question. How did you meet your wife? Oh, I love this question. I always, how did you meet your wife? And Donna says, yes, question mark. King Jose says, I'll do better than MSU than Georgia at North Carolina. Okay, King, you are not, on anything, right? Look, wait. That's wrong for me to say that. Here's this young 19-year-old man going off to Michigan State. You may very well do better than Michael Jordan at North Carolina. I certainly hope you do, because then I can say, I know that. Wait, what's your name? Or do I have to watch the stats sheet and just say, I think I know that guy. I think he was on my show. Right? What is your name? I'm just saying. I hope you do. King, I hope you do. Seriously, I really do. That would be something. Let's all give King a hand for belief. Believe in yourself. Because, you know what? If you don't believe in yourself, no one else is going to believe in you for you. Because even if somebody believes in you for you, if you keep up the refrain that you can't get it done, sooner or later they're going to stop fighting you. It's going to take years, especially if it's your family. But those accolades, those words of encouragement are going to come less and less and less because you're the downer. Be your own, be your own hero or heroine. Be your own, enjoy the fact that you believe you can do it. There's a lot to be said for that, because we're in a society that spends a lot of time putting people down, and it's really sad. It's a sad statement of where we come. Oh, as far as how you met your wife. Okay, yeah. Now, King Jose says, Brian says King Jose will settle the debate when I bring Coach Izzo on the show. Crawford says, King Jose, people in the East Lansing will be mad at Ricky Bobby and his Draymond hate. John Marks says, J.J. Watt is Mr. Feel on those Verizon commercials. Bernard says, put LeBron in the 80s, 90s era, he would get shut down. Bernard is right. Octavio says, hope you do, Jose, King Jose, 19. Go Warriors says that he's not married. Jamal Wills says, my wife went to Spelman. I went to Morehouse, and we were best friends for 14 years. Wow. So you turned the friendship into a marriage. And congrats to King Jose, says John Marks. I echo that. King Jose says, my name is Jose, LOL. My name is Jose Lowell. And Brian, I will bring Mike Izzo on Skype with you. So your name is Jose. Am I reading that right? IOL or LOL? Is that right? IOL? I want to make sure I'm reading that correctly. Jabber says Jordan has 0 playoff games scoring under 15 points versus 4 from LeBron. Let's see here. And make sure I get this down. Miguel says, Bernard, how you doing, Miguel? Miguel says, I agree, and that just goes to show and prove how overrated LeBron really is. And Ivan says, Zinni, are you going to buy the ZO2s? What are the ZO2s? I don't know what the ZO2s are. Brian Gidry says, King Jose, I want to see you on the court. I'll bring my knee brace and damn torn ACL. I'll still get you. Brian Gidry is calling you out right here on my show. Woo. Gold Warrior says, hey, Zinni, Monday afternoon, 1:30, MST. Can we talk through Skype? I'll check my schedule. King Jose says, honestly, I hate Draymond Green also, so see how that goes. And 831 Scott says, I saw a stupid poll on Facebook last night that said if you had James Harden, Steph Curry, and Russell Westbrook, who would you start? Who would you bench? And who would you cut? All out of the three. Woo! That's a heck of a poll. Jamal Miller says, yep, straight from best friend to engage. We've been married for 4 years. Congratulations, Jamal. Congratulations. There's a lot to be said for the best friend angle. It really is. And 831 Scott says, it was interesting reading the comments. Barry Lee says, he's laughing out loud. King Jose says, Zenny, laugh out loud? No, oh, I didn't, I didn't know. That's what it looked like. I mean, anyway, Jamal says a year. Miguel says, Warriors win NBA Finals 4 games to 2. Got it. In other words, in 6 games. Octavia says, wait for year 7 of the relationship. Okay. I dated a girl at Cal, a woman, and that, and then we reconnected, and then it didn't work out. So I think I mentioned that before, and I learned a lot. And one thing that I learned is that some people, well, I should say, let me be more nuanced in this. If you're really in love with a woman, you know her inside and out, right? And I don't mean jokingly. I'm serious about this. So much so that you can see the core of who she is and realize where that person has specifically changed and where she hasn't changed over, 2 generations or, almost 2 generations. And that was certainly the case. And so, not a generation. That was certainly the case. A generation is what? How long? But anyway, that was certainly the case. Okay. So, and Jamal Will's wife is a marriage therapist. Henry Flores is a marriage therapist. Something going on here. It's interesting. And they're both on my show. How about that? King says, hey, Jacob, how are you doing? Bernard wants cut Harden, start Curry, bench Westbrook. Bench Westbrook? No. I'm sorry. No. No, not at all. And Barry Lee has a stupid trade rumor he wants to share. And 831 says he's a ball hog. Octavio says, never look back, only look forward. Got it. But how come you can't look back as you're looking forward with the same person? I mean, isn't that the trick to being married for a long time? I don't know. I wish I did. Brian Gidry says, Barry Lee is it for Chris Paul? Octavio says, don't trip over the same stone twice. Got it. Henry Flores says, second career for me. John Mark says, bench Harden. Barry Lee says, yeah, it's Chris Paul. Laugh out loud. King Jose. So your last name is it I-O-L? I-O? I mean, how do you, Jose I-O? Is that it? So, you know what? I think the best way for me to do that is to go back and to how you spelled your name originally, and then if I do that and then copy and paste, all right. So let's see here. Now I know you said your name is Jose, but was that including your last name? Because I thought I said IOL. I thought it was your last name, right? So Dorian says. Saavedra says, welcome. Says, you must learn from your past to make a better future. That's the comment of the night. Octavio says, tried to come back once, burnt and crashed. And 831 Scott says, I agree, bench Harden, John Marks. Jacob P says, bench Curry. No thanks. Agreed. Jabber says, LOL laughing out loud. Bernard says, yeah, it's debatable. Westbrook is a ball hog. Now, okay, that we have heard that. Let me see something here. Regarding what I thought I read about Jose, and hey, wait a minute, there's a guy on YouTube by that name, Jose, capital LOL, 1-to-1 English voice video conversation Skype phone channel. Then there's a Jose Match Bros, and let's see here. Maybe if I type San Jose, maybe that'll get Or you're just saying that your name is Jose? What's your last name? What's your last name? Jose's too doggone common. Oh, whatever. Okay. Miguel Rose says, 831 Scott, so what? Kobe Bryant, Magic Johnson, Shaq, Mike, MJ were all ball hogs, and they were all great, and all amazing championship players who have multiple NBA championships. In other words, they got rings, man. Henry Flores says, Doors, brah. Use the law of averages. You ask 100 women out, one will say yes, trust me. Dang. You know, that's interesting. I had, I'm going to get back to that in a second. Hold that thought. Bernard543 says, either way, you have one of them coming off the bench. King Jose says, I said my note, Emil Jose's then. I put LOL because I was laughing out loud. Oh, I get it. Okay. I mean, I didn't know. It's the way you wrote it, right? Take a Piece says, not really MJ. He wasn't a big ball hog. Jabber says, Zinni Jose was laughing out loud. I get it. Like that. John Mark says, I agree with Henry regarding marriage issue. 831 Scott says, Miguel's not the same. And Jordan had a lot of assists. Brian Gidry says, Miguel Rose used straight tripping, homie. Magic, a ball hog. Ha, ha, ha. Magic was an outstanding assist generator. Jacob P says, this is good for me because I'm trying to get a girlfriend. 831 Scott says, they didn't win championships by themselves. Now, coming back to the comment that I saw that really got me about learning from the past to make a better future. And then I think it was, what did he say here? I think it was Henry that said it, or John Marks points out that Magic was an MVP. And I believe, the law of averages thing. That reminds me of a friend of mine, Noelle, whose last name I will not mention here. I went to visit her in Japan. This was a while back, and she was lamenting about not being able to meet, a lot of guys in Japan at the time. And I told her kind of a variation of what you said, Henry. I said, you know what? Meet 25 guys. Out of that 25, you'll have 10 that you're acquainted with. Out of that 10, you'll have 5 who are your friends. Out of that 5, you'll have 2 that you really like and go out with. And out of that 2, 1 will emerge. Theoretically. Now, today, it's kind of like, it's a variation of that. But, yeah. No, but anyway, Now, yeah, it's a variation. As in, oh, you're dating that person, that person. I mean, it seems today that the rules are, you know what it looks like to me? It looks like we have taken the idea of the me generation that was coined in the 70s for a reason, and now it's not just the me generation, but it's the me. Oh, and me generation. Yeah, that's the impression that I get. Not saying I'm cynical, just talking about what I observe on a daily basis from my position as a media pundit and my position as a guy. So, let's see here. I do not have retro Jordans. Brian Gidry says, Jacob P. want a girlfriend, meet her at a library, museum, stay away from the bars. Brian is right. Don't stay away from the bars, but if you go to a bar, don't get drunk. Okay? And do not get drunk. I'm just saying that. Just, don't go to a bar with the intention of getting drunk. And don't think that if you met a girl who's drunk and you hit it off, that when she's not drunk anymore, she's going to want to be with you. If that happens, maybe you've got a ringer, okay? Because it has nothing to do with, the cocktail and everything, and there's actually a connection. But I'm just telling you, do not be disappointed if it doesn't turn out that way. And I guarantee you, at 19, when you hit 21 and you start going out there, you're going to realize this, all right? You really will, okay? Now, Henry Flores says, Zinni is right. The last time I got drunk, I got engaged. See, I met a woman that I thought that was going to be my wife. That was it. Didn't happen. And Jacob P says, "Don't worry, guys. I'm all about that life, respect." And Brian Gidry says, "Oh, get drunk, enjoy the night, but don't keep her, throw her back in." Oh God. Brian, I think he has it wrong. There are women who do that with guys. They throw the guys back in the ocean. All right, that's how it is today. It's like, oh, my mother always says that security for a woman is the biggest issue, and I'm sure guys can speak to that. It's security, security, security. Money, money, money. Money talks, BS walks. There you go. Okay, that's it. Remember that, Jacob. Money. Okay? Money. You're welcome. Jamal Mo says, yup. I can see him saying, yup. And Dorian says, me and only me. God forbid I think of anybody's crazy now for a day. People love to criticize but can't take criticism. True. Gold War says, funny story yesterday. And I have to be, in fairness to those who may be, who may be same sex rather than, cross sex like me, in other words, me, I date women. I can't speak to that because that's not where I go, so I don't mean to be insulting to anybody. I just want to say that. I'm only talking about experiences from our point of view, all right? So I just want to get that out of the way. I don't mean to discriminate against somebody whose orientation may be different. But I just want to get that out of the way. I mean, I'm a straight guy, okay? Now, thanks, John. I appreciate it. Thank you, John. Appreciate it. Money does. Thanks, Henry. Thanks. Now, Go Warriors has a funny story. He says, funny story. Wait a minute. Ha 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 ha. I laughed. Okay, funny story. Yesterday I cut my finger with a knife. That's not funny. But I did not specifically say on the say on the stream what kind of knife it was. And well, here it is. I cut my finger with a butter knife and it got 4 stitches. Why is that funny? I don't find that funny. You hurt yourself, man. Look, do not dismember yourself for ratings. Okay, I'm just saying. All right, it ain't that important. Okay, it ain't. All right. King Jose says, if a girl just wants your money, she ain't worth it. Truth. And I don't think it's that. I hear what you're saying. Let me respond to that in a second. Jabber says, no, John, gangsters do. John Davis says, John Davis, how you doing? Money changes everything, and now this. That's right. John Davis just got done listening to Cyndi Lauper, right? King Jose says, pretty funny. Brian Gidry says, Miguel, you ain't got to worry about sharks when you're a killer whale. John Mark says, butter knife. I hate handling knives. 831 Scott says, Miguel Rose, I think Harden and Curry are better team players than Westbrook. Whoa, he just wants his points, and that's why I say he's a ball hog. He is a great player, but he's selfish. And therein lay the issue with KD, do you think? Miguel Rose says, King Jose 19, I agree. Jamal Miller says, but I don't think security is just finances. It's also, and I agree, and here's my point. It's not just that, but as my mom and other women, even if they don't say it, the minute you express something of a financial weakness or something like that, it changes things, okay? And you gotta be really good friends with a woman in order to say, hey, look, here's my situation, and then she gets it. If she doesn't, yeah, move on, okay? And I tell you, as a consultant, it's either feast or famine. And I have been with women who understand that and women who don't. And that, you really have to choose wisely and understand that and have that shared, okay? That's just a fact. And the older you get, if you haven't met someone, when you meet someone, if you're in your 50s or your 40s, they want to know, where your money is coming from and everything else. And that's legitimate. That's a desire. That has to be done. It takes revenue to live. That's just a fact of the matter. And is it a proper statement? Of course not. I mean, but it's what every woman wants to know, that the man they marry is able to provide for the kids that she has, or able to at least help out and provide for the kids that she has. Because she's going to have them. You're not. All right? That's just a fact of life, and there's no escaping that. I mean, there's just no escaping that at all. You can talk highfalutin ideas and everything, but when the rubber meets the road, hey guys, am I telling the truth? What do you say? And John Mark says he agrees, and Henry Flores says yes. To be honest, if you lie to a woman, you have to cover with another lie, another lie. Yep. And Miguel says, a woman is only with you for your money. She really doesn't care about you as a person. You need to dump her like really bad, you know. And King Jose says, Zini, do you think I can take my pet to MSU with me? I bought a Bali python. No, man, that python, you're gonna get expelled. Okay, not a good idea. Just saying. Nothing against pythons, but you know what? Stick to basketball. There are other snakes in life to deal with. All right. Now, Little White Lies, Henry says jabber. John Davis says remake of Cyndi Lauper, done by a band called Hell in the Club. John Mark says yes, you are. Brian Guidry says Henry, true. Dorian says most females look for security in a relationship. Men should as well. I've been married for 21 years to my junior high school love, and we are both equal partners in everything. That's a beautiful story. That's a beautiful story. Henry Flores says, just make a woman feel wanted and continue to make her feel that way and you will be fine. Go Warriors says, night y'all, going to bed really tired, falling asleep is bed. My live stream Sunday at 9 o'clock. Check him out. And 11, check him out and then go to Zinni for his live stream. Thank you so much, Go Warriors, and subscribe to Go Warriors, please. Yeah. Jacob P says, good night. Guys, thanks for all the help. I love you too, man. Thank you. And the people in this chat, they're all supportive and helpful. You're very welcome. Thank you. Octavia says, all women want security. If you can provide that, no matter how good you are, you're done. Brian Guidry says, junior high. Oh, by the way, I have a special announcement to make. On Saturday, I'm having a special live stream. And this will be early. It'll be at 7 o'clock Eastern. Okay? And it features Susan Johnson's a longtime friend of mine. And this is not about dating. But she is the founder and director of the New Media Film Festival in Los Angeles. Hear that, Ricky Bobby? Los Angeles. And we're going to talk about the new movies and other creations on video that are coming up that are being featured at the New Media Film Festival. So this is a special Saturday live stream. I don't normally do one, but I'm, able to wrap her up and, well, not wrap her up, but secure her on schedule. You know what I'm saying, okay? Don't want to be misconstrued there. So, a different live stream, check it out and tune in. And, yeah, that's Saturday, okay? Saturday. And 831 Scott says that, I divorced my... King says, oh, yeah, true, there's only enough snakes in Ann Arbor, like the Wolverines. Henry Flores says that, Dorian, I wish I was lucky as you, being truly honest. And 831 Scott says, I divorced my wife and took full custody of my two boys and raised one to be a Marine. Thank you to him for serving our country. And my youngest will be a freshman next year. I have never asked my ex for a dime. Dorian says, thanks. Octavio says, good for you, Scott. And Henry Flores says, you're a good man, 831 Scott, and a good role model for your boys. John Mark says, it is true that women get 50% of the husband's income during divorce, question mark. Yes, I understand. And 831 Scott says, I truly love my boys. King Jose says, Zinni wants to wrap her up. Boy, I knew I would get it for that slip. Boy, Susan, I got to share that one with Susan before we get on the air. King Jose says, that's hilarious. Octavia says, depends on who has better income. Brian Guidry says, won't be able to catch it on Saturday. Damn, I would love to see that. Damn, family reunion. But you know what? It'll be automatically recorded for viewing on YouTube, by the way. Now, John Davis says, Hollywood seems to be like reboots. Hollywood seems to like reboots. That'd be interesting. I'll do a preview too, by the way. Henry Flores says, it depends, John Marks, on how equal the income is for both parties. And Jordan Yancey says, good man. Now, Um, and yes, Miguel Rose says, John Davis, is that you about to change in a few years? John Mark says, Hollywood needs to get better storylines. Yeah, I like, hey, you know what, folks? We have to, speaking of Hollywood, acknowledge this fact as much as it is 10:37 in some parts of the country and 11:37 before it hits 12, so the entire day is gone. This is the 40th anniversary of Star Wars. Woo! That's right. 40 years ago, Star Wars played in a theater near you, and I saw my friend Lars Frickman and Bill Boyd, and I believe Craig probably saw it at the Piedmont Theater in Oakland. And yeah, Star Wars, 1977. Wow, Star Wars. Can you believe it? Hey, King Jose, I think King Jose went off to bed. Have you ever seen the original Star Wars, Episode 4, A New Hope? Just asking. Now, Jabber gives a thumbs up. And Henry Flores says, Hollywood has to stop calling Mama June hot. That is what Hollywood has to do. Octavio says they could not even get Star Wars right. John Davis says, didn't know that. Wow. Miguel Rose said something. Brian Gidry says he would love to make a successful sci-fi movie about the Roswell crash. I think that's doable. I do. John Davis says I was 7 when Star Wars came out. Octavio Arias says they repeated New Hope storyline. John Mark says Star Wars 40 years ago. Congrats to George Lucas. Yes. Miguel Rose, who really got it right marriage-wise, Miguel Rose says John Marks, Hollywood needs more original screenplays with more original stories. Donis Giorgio, I was a baby in 9/11, and I can say I probably know a woman who was George Lucas' personal assistant, who in later in life became a very successful non-profit corporation founder. Now, Dorian says I am your father. No, I will. Brian Gidry says George Lucas, could he make a good Star Wars movie again? I don't know about that. Henry Flores says that was fun. Thanks for the stream, Zany. Good night, people. Hey, Henry, thank you and good night. And thank you very much for the marriage advice. Always welcome, and come back again for more relationship talk. That's something else, because someone watching this might think, well, he's not talking about sports and the Raiders all the time. No, I'm not. But if you listen to talk radio now, even sports talk radio, sometimes, particularly late at night like this is, they'll talk about stuff, and the stuff they talk about is sometimes more interesting than the sports subjects. That's just the way it is, It's called life, Some people just want to connect, there we go. It's that sort of thing. So, yeah. Now, George, and John Mark says George. John Davis says, I had all of Star Wars toys, but after too many battles, none survived. Octavio says even Lucas hated Episode 7. Daisy Ridley and John Boyega need to get married. That's all I have to say. Hey, by the way, has anyone ever seen the Circle movie with Tom Hanks and John Boyega? And is it Emma Stone? Is she? I want to see that. I think it's still playing down the street. Now, let's see here. Zinni ribs or pulled pork from Memorial Weekend? Ribs. Now, yeah, night Henry. And happy Memorial Day weekend, by the way. And 831 Scott says he watched the original Star Wars at a drive-in theater. Hey, folks, I'm going to stop at 1:45 because I'm a little faded. And truth be told, was a little under the weather this morning, and I need to get some rest. And so, I'm going to give myself a little bit of a 15-minute reprieve. I started actually 15 minutes earlier this time. Actually, no, about the same time. But yeah, I'm just gonna rest. Just get a little rest there. So at about 1:45, maybe in thereabouts, because I'm starting to fade. I could power through with a little bit more. I'll go to 2. I'm not gonna wimp out. Forget it. I will not wimp out. I will survive. I will pull through. It's just, yeah, why not? Let's keep going with this. Yeah. John Marks, those who remember Union City Drive-In, I do. And hey, I just perked up with that. Ding. King Jose is here. Daisy really is going to be his wife. I'll come to your wedding. It'll be a nice marriage. John Davis says, I'm ready for another season 10 Star Wars movies. Jabber says, sing the Oakland song again. All right, I will do that. 1, 2, 3. I am sure that you're aware of famous cities everywhere, the ones they write about in song and verse. There are songs about Chicago, London, Paris, and St. Paul, Buffalo, Miami, and for God's sakes, Beaver Falls. Beaver Falls. But Tin Pan Alley did us wrong. They never wrote a song about the greatest city of them all. Now don't go away. I hope you'll stay and hear the song I wrote today. Oakland's got the Tribune Tower. Oakland's got Lake Merritt too. She's got Jack London Square. The Alley Cat is there. The Kaiser Center sticks up everywhere. Where then all the people go when Frisco burn. They all went to Oakland and they never returned. Right outside the city limits. Scoots a freeway called the Nimitz. Of all the pretty cities, she's the leader. And don't forget the tube to Alameda. Oh, she's got pride, hope, oh, what a view. Oakland, we're for you. Don't mean Milpitas. Oakland, we're for you. There you go in my bad singing voice. But I'm telling you, the person who taught me that song, I've said it before, I'll say it again, Rod Dibble, at the Alley, 3325 Grand Avenue, Oakland, California, open nightly from generally 5 o'clock to 2 o'clock in the morning on, well, really it's around the clock now, but Rod hasn't played there in a little bit. He's kind of getting up there. But generally there's a person playing at the piano on Tuesdays and Sundays. All right, Tuesday through Sunday, 9 o'clock to 1 o'clock in the morning, 1:30, some there, okay? So another person, if you are in Oakland, go to the Alley on Tuesday nights and Wednesday nights. Paul Hebcar plays the guitar. He does great cover tunes of Dylan songs. All right. He starts at about 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock. Yeah, there you go. Now, let's see here. Dorian can't wait for the new Star Trek TV show. And good advice for King Jose by Bernard. Good advice. John Davis says going to have to change those lyrics. And King Jose, I do not do cocaine. And I'm telling you, do not do cocaine. All right? I don't care if your peers do it. I don't care how old-fashioned you might think I sound. Stay on the straight and narrow. Keep your butt out of trouble. All right? I'm saying to you this. Keep your tail out of trouble. Right? Yeah, just say no. Octavio said it best. Just say no. You don't need that stuff. You know, you get high on life. You're going to play basketball. Why do you want to mess yourself up like that? All right? Ugh. Man, I am not singing the Oakland song again. You have to come back and John Davis says going to have to change those lyrics. Why? Vanessa Hudgens is wifey, says Bernard. Ooh. Benai Guidry says, King Jose, watch it. Focus on ball and education. Don't lose your scholarship like he did. See, there you go. Thank you, Brian. That's great advice. Bernard says, sorry, I had to put it in there. Jabbar says, what is that? Is that Burning Feet? What is that? Dorian says, can't wait for the new Star Trek. Got that one. And I didn't throw Milpitas under the bus. That's the lyrics. I mean, you know, okay. What do you want me to throw in there? Don't mean Las Vegas? But John Mark says, those who remember the Hayward Drive-In UA now, Pepsi Distribution Center, Industrial Boulevard here. I remember. John Davis says, Star Trek lost me after years in the same stupid room. King Jose says, I never do drugs, Brian. Been drug free since 1998. Awesome. Bernard says, drive-ins are awesome. Dorian says, laugh out loud. Davis, new films got me back into it. Star Trek, the original series. Love it. I watched it. I can tell you what episode I'm watching within between 10 seconds to 30 seconds, maybe somewhere in there, 15 seconds of it starting. 831, no, excuse. King Jose says, Zenny, sing the Patriots 16-0 song. What? No. Octavio Lara says, just so no. King Jose says, drug free since 98. John Mark says, I've been drug free since 90. I've never done drugs. Octavio says, please don't. Miguel Rose says, cocaine is not something that never was to ever mess with around. It will destroy your life. And, you know, Miguel is right. I had an uncle who got wrapped up on that stuff. And we went to his home, group of the family, to, you know, see how he was doing. He wasn't there, but he had, with his bare hands, taken down, and with the tools, but he'd taken down his bed set, and he took the wood planks and from the bed and boarded up his windows to keep the light out because he thought something was trying to come in and get him. That's how hyped up on all that stuff he was. I mean, I have never before since seen anything like that. So you don't need that. You don't need that. There's nothing, no. And do not get caught up with a woman who does that. Okay, I'm just letting you know. There are plenty of great women out there who don't do that. These guys are married to women who are not into that. So I'm just saying, there are a lot of great examples out there. You don't need to be there. Talking to you, King, you're 19. Just letting you know, all right? Now, John Davis says all the Star Treks look the same to him. King Jose says he was born in 98, and so that's why he'd been drugs free since then. Okay. You know what we're saying. Don't be a smart aleck, all right? Thank you, John Marks. John Marks says great advice. Bernard says, you mean 15-1 losing St. Louis, Mexico. John Davis says, I gave up aspirin a long time. Nope. Say something else, all right? An aspirin or two a day will keep the doctor away. And if you're in your 40s and 50s, I highly recommend an aspirin regimen. I'm not joking with you. It will keep you, well, for some time out of the hospital. I had a friend who had a heart attack and who lives here in the area here, and he put up a box of Bayer no-dose aspirin, and I'm letting you know that's the case, okay? I mean, I'm just saying. Aspirin truly is the wonder drug. Just saying that, all right? Thank you, Bernard. Yeah, thank you. An apple a day, an apple and aspirin, right? Chicken, and something else, King Jose. Drink a lot of water as you grow. A lot of water. Oh, and then chicken and fish and cranberry juice. And drink cranberry juice. And cranberry juice is the best. I'm just letting you know. It's the best. All right? It's the best, okay? It really is. Now, I remember the Bayer drivers in the midst of drive-in, John. Remember the drive-in by the Coliseum, John? 831 Scott says, I've had numerous friends got hooked on pain meds from the doctors. It led them to worse things. They ended up being junkies. Brian Guidry said he sold coke, weed, and alcohol to survive on the streets. He moved out at 16, lost his baseball scholarship to George Washington. Are you seeing this? King Jose 19. He lost his baseball scholarship at George Washington University. It set him back, and it didn't ruin him, but it didn't help long term either. There's an honest, explanation of why you should not do that. Jabber says, and fried chicken. Jabber says no crack though. John Davis says maybe I'll take some Flintstone vitamins. Jabber says no cocktails cranberry. No, I mean clear cranberry juice. It is outstanding. I love cranberry juice. Cranberry juice, water, green tea, coffee in the morning. You know, coffee is excellent. Yeah, I'm just saying, all right? It really is. And exercise. Go to the gym every single day. I guess as a 19-year-old, you don't have to worry about that, but make sure you continue it as your regimen, all right? I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. I'm just letting you know, all right? All right? And hey, I'm Zinni 62 because I was born in 1962, and I'm not ashamed of that at all. I like who I am right now. It's like, well, gee, how come, you're saying you're Zinni 62? Aren't you concerned about? No, I'm not, because I am, I'm the best me I've been right now. That's. Hey, there we go. That's it. John Davis says he needs to go up with soda. I haven't had soda in a while. I think the one thing that because when I go back to Oakland, I have my favorite haunts like the Alley's a bar and everything. But when I go, I order cranberry juice. Over the years, I have lost my taste alcohol was always a social thing for me. It's just a way to meet girls, all right? And so I was going to connect. You go during happy hours. You go to the Royal Exchange. You go to, which is on Sacramento in front. And you go to other places like Aqua, for example, where Gavin Newsom used to go. And there are a number of places, particularly in San Francisco and Oakland, to go to and hang out to this day. McNally's, right? But I go to socialize. I don't go to get drunk. And if I have something and I feel just a little bit, I stop. I don't care if the drink is that much, I'll stop. So for me right now, that comes up to maybe sometimes no drink, sometimes maybe a drink and a half. And I'll order water. And I'll have like water the rest of the night. Period. I've been like that for some time, 7 years, I guess. And just because as you get older, you metabolize alcohol differently, and I don't like the feeling. And so I just naturally shied away from it. I like to feel healthy. I like to feel good. I like to feel fresh, And so, Zinni hates this day for sure. January 19th, 2002. Is that the Tuck rule? Yeah. I remember I was that day. Miguel Rose, drinking fresh homemade juice is the best. Ding. John Mark says, hey, Zinni, remember the auto movie stadium in the Stanley Island Drive-In near Bayfair Mall? Yeah, I sure do. I certainly do. Jabber says, coffee. Bernard 543 says, although I drink Sprite Canada Dry when I'm having an upset stomach. Hey, ginger ale's the best. John Jabber says alkaline water is much better. I didn't realize that. I'll do that. Alkaline water. We have a water filter here because some of the well water needs to be filtered. We have the Brita system, right? Brian Guidry says, I'm in the exact middle of no sugar and no carbs. I have never wanted to eat my daughter's fruit snacks so badly. That's hilarious. That's great. And I haven't had, I've also lost my taste for a lot of cheese. And I just go with what makes me feel healthy, right? That's really it. You're in the middle of 30 days. Wow. Wow, Brian. That's something else. Wow. 30 days. Wow. Wow. And John Davis is recommending, he says he thought artesian water was the best. Okay, remember, Nashville Predators. Root for the Predators starting Monday. God, wouldn't it would be a dream to get somebody like a Carrie Underwood on, or a Taylor Swift, or, somebody rooting for the, something like that. That'd be, Anyway, or, Serena Williams Serena Williams would not root for the Predators. Who would she root for? She would root for the Kings, right? Because she's from Compton, LA Kings, but now she's in the San Jose Sharks territory. It'd be interesting, Yeah, John Marks seconds my question. Is artesian water good for dieting? I don't know the answer to that question. Well, let's do a quick search. This is the internet age, right? Let me see. Artesian water. I'll give you a quick answer, John. Is artesian water good for dieting? Let's find out. Let's find out real quick here before we exit. Artesian water, and there's Google search for artesian water, and now what? Dieting. Answers coming up in a second. Livestrong says mineral water can keep your. Well, let me see here. It doesn't specifically mention artesian water. So let's try that again. Artesian water. Calories, nutrition, facts, recipes, diets, and review. It says 1 serving size bottle, 330 milligrams. Protein, no protein, calories from fat, 0, 0, 0, total fat 0. Looks like it is. Combine artesian water with a protein diet to lose weight quickly. So there you go. So you can lose weight with protein. And so you look for essential amino acids and, so basically artesian water with a protein diet, John Marks. There's your answer. Artesian water with a protein diet melts the calories. I'll keep that in mind myself. John Marks says, I've lost 40 pounds drinking artesian water. I lost 28 pounds last year doing indoor rowing. Okay? Indoor rowing. Now when I go to the gym, I stand up on a bike. I do not sit down. I stand on the bike for as much as 30 minutes straight. Bernard, I've never heard of the black water. John Davis says, type in what is the best type of water. The best type of water, I still like spring water. I like Pellegrino myself. And good night, Brian. Yeah, it's 1:58, and I'm gonna say good night too. And Jabber says, deceased don't like alkaline state of body. They thrive in an acidic environment. Miguel Rose says, John Mark, really fresh homemade juice that is good for dieting is a combination of apple, carrot, celery, and beets and parsley juice. And hey, watch Psych on Ion Television. See you guys. Psych movie coming up in December. Comic-Con coming up. All right, see you guys. Good night, everybody. Good night, John Marks. Say good night, John Marks. Say good night, Bernard. Say good night, John. Say good night, Crawford. You can bet your last money it's all going to be a stone gas. Honey, that's right. Good night, Miguel. Good night, Jabber. Good night, everybody. Good night. Good night. See you guys. Remember, Saturday, special with Susan Johnson. And I'm going to put out a tweet with the time and a special video announcement too. Tomorrow. Good night, everybody. But 7 p.m. Eastern, which is 4 p.m. Pacific, so it's a little earlier. Actually, it's a lot earlier. Good night, everybody. Good night. I'll firm up the time for you. Love, peace, and you got it. That's right. Go Raiders. And go Nashville Predators. Good night, everybody. Thank you. Thank you, John. Thank you all. Thank you all. Thank you all, and thank you for making this a lot of fun. Thank you. Thank you all. Good night. I'll see you.